I think we're about ready to start here, so if I may, I'd like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies for the unveiling ceremonies, Mr. David Vincent.
Give me hell, Dave. Speak to him, baby.
Welcome. 2 years in a row. Could I ask Joe Kemp to bring from the back room, there's a framed item by the mirrors from the Point Richmond History Association. Welcome again. Town's having a party. And to start this afternoon off, I want to introduce to you Mayor George Livingston. And we have David McDermott here. And
thank you very much, David. It's certainly a pleasure to be here today. If you will join me, I think we should stand for a moment of silence because of the loss of the late Tom Cochran. If you bow your heads for a moment, please. I would like for you to recognize that great loss. Will you please? Thank you very much. I feel very sad that that had to be done. But I must say that he was a leader in this community, and he was the person who unveiled the statue that's now before you. Before I get into what I'm supposed to do, I would like to acknowledge that we have a number of elected officials here. First, I'd like to start off by introducing my great friend who will take a bow, Vice Mayor Dave McDermott, who live in the Point. And also we have Supervisor Tom Powers, who live in the Point, and he donated the billboard. If you will raise your hand, Tom, wherever you are, there you are. We have council person Rosemary Corbett, who is doing an outstanding job in the Point. I noticed one of our own, George Cantu, who is doing an outstanding job on the school board. George, raise your hand, please. If there are other elected officials, I'm sorry I didn't see you. Dave, did I see anyone? Tom Powers, we gave him the bow. But in view of why we're here to celebrate a great occasion. I think that Point Richmond is the outstanding part of our city. When I think of Sausalito, I think that Point Richmond is more beautiful than Sausalito. And it's going to be more beautiful because you have members on our city council who believe in just what I've just said. I know that the waterfront is a beautiful area of your point. We're going to brighten it up. We're going to have access to that waterfront. So it will create the kind of image that our city deserves to have. Dave, I'd like to give you special thanks for doing what you're doing here to bring the kind of culture that this city deserves to have. And I think with that culture, Richmond will certainly be on the face of the map as one of the outstanding cities in this country. And I'm very, very happy to be serving as your mayor. And I hope and pray that next year, when we have the 3rd annual Statue Day, we will have so many people, it will be just like trying to get out of San Francisco at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. With those words, I just want to say that it's really a pleasure for me to be here. And I hope and pray that you will enjoy your day. I can kind of relate to the Indian statue. I was born in Oklahoma, and my background ties very, very close to the Indian movement. And I noticed Donna Roselius being here today, she sort of reminded me of some of the things that I used to see when I was a small person in Oklahoma. So thank you very much, and have a good day. Dave, bless you for what you're doing, and I certainly appreciate what you're doing for the city of Richmond. I'm sure that with this movement, as you're moving, we're going to do everything we can to accommodate the needs that you have in order that next year will be just what I said earlier. We're going to have cops on every corner to direct the traffic. Thank you very much, and bless you all.
I understand we have Kathy Lord in the crowd. New City Councilwoman. Is Bob Reed been seen in town yet? Marcia Ward? Has anyone seen Bob Reed? Could you pass the message that he's needed up here for a moment? Right now, I'd like to introduce Donna Roselius. She's president of the Point Richmond History Association. She's going to carry on a few introductions. Donna?
And I'd like to introduce Wendy Thompson from the Maskers, who will help us lead the fashion show. There she goes.
That's what they're wearing?
We have some special guests today. Mary Casey, who is one of our oldest residents and who is a member of the West Side Improvement Club, and who also saw the first statue topple down and helped to pick it up, is going to be unveiling our park plans today. Mary?
Mary Casey's going to say a few words as she did to us last year.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Point Richmond. Come again. Thank you.
I'll introduce Tranny Dornan. Tranny Dornan is one of our senior members of the business community since 1914, when her husband and she both started the Richmond Supply Company. This woman still goes to work every day. I won't tell her age in public unless she wants to. But somehow Tranny has a secret that some of us should find. And having the Point Richmond Business Association, having her as a member, we're quite proud. Tranny?
Okay. We'll be right back.
Yeah. I want to welcome all my friends that are here. I enjoyed this party quite a bit. I remember a lot about the old times in Point Richmond. Any old friends, why, they always find me. I've seen several of them today. I enjoy this very much, and I thank you for asking me to come.
Thank you, Tranny. Now I'll turn it back over to Donna Roselius. And has anyone gotten the word to see if Bob Reed is here, please?
Are you all ready to sing along? You have a program? There are programs over there on that table if you don't have one, so be ready. Okay. And someone's passing it around. Mid Dornan is passing them around also. Yes. Okay. A little bit about them. As most of you know, Point Richmond began as a small island very close to the mainland, and very early on, and after the Indians left and the Spaniards had taken over and made it a ranch, the white men came in and saw all that land and started diking the area between Point Richmond and the mainland. And pretty soon it became declared land, and it paved the way for an industrial town which started off with a boom. Let's all sing about that.
So everybody's got their programs. Okay, sing along. The first two verses. From My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean is the tune now. Think about that. There once was a beautiful island. It sat on the edge of the bay. For years only Indians lived there, eating shellfish and fishing all day. Then came Spaniards, their cattle and horses roamed here and there. Rancho San Pablo included that island so fair. More white men came over the mountains, more white men came in from the sea. They saw the land on that rancho, and each one said, "This is for me." Survey parties named this spot Point Richmond, but who knows why? Speculation Regulators found ways to turn wet land to dry. That was hard. No.
You only have to sing 2 verses at a time, so you get plenty of time to breathe in between. We have some wonderful costumes provided by Bonnie Cool of One of a Kind, and we'll be kind of doing a chronological fashion show for you. Augustine MacDonald came out here in 1895 on a duck hunting trip and discovered, quote unquote, Point Richmond and saw its beauty, but he also saw its potential as the westernmost terminus for the Santa Fe. Santa Fe was the first thing to come to Point Richmond. They tunneled through the hill and built Ferry Point up as the place where ferries took off for San Francisco. July 4th, 1900 was the first ferry to take off, and by that time there was even a newspaper in town. There wasn't much else, but there was a newspaper, a few tents, and a hotel being built.
And here come some of the early residents of Point Richmond. We have Michael, Catherine, and Rain wearing clothes authentic for the period. And Rain's carrying a teddy bear from Theodore Bear.
Quickly for a couple more verses here, everyone. Everyone join in. Augustine MacDonald walked out here. He climbed Nickel Knob and exclaimed, "This place should be used for its beauty. For commerce it may become famed." Santa Fe came, they put down their tracks, tunneled through the hill. Next came Standard, they built their refinery on Phil. A boomtown is what then developed, they called it Pittsburgh of the West. Bars, boarding houses, and brothels were numerous, it must be confessed. Then came families, their houses popped up all around the hills, and 4 churches took care of their spiritual ills.
Here we have a couple of hookers in town at last. We're beginning to get civilized, and here are Barbara and Renee modeling, you can all tell what. Okay, but inevitably somebody wanted to spoil their fun, and Joanne and Michelle are running them out of town. Too bad.
All right, ladies.
There was a place along Railroad Avenue which these women came from, and none of the children or the proper ladies were ever allowed to walk on Railroad Avenue.
That's right, let's get those hookers out of town. Right on, Florence. Yeah.
Now we've had our hookers, we have 2 more verses. Let's hear it, gang. Professor Butts, he built an airplane, a steam-powered flying machine. In 1903 it was ready, on Nickel Knob it could be seen. Then came storm winds and blew that great airplane off the knob. In a shambles, the plane and its maker, oh sobbed. The West Side Improvement Club did it. They gave us a fountain and more. An Indian statue stood on it and stayed till the Second World War. Then late one night, a truck driver knocked that old statue down, but a new one now proudly stood over the town.
As some of you may know, Point Richmond was almost the Kitty Hawk of America. Professor Botts, who we've just recently seen, made a model of an airplane in, I believe, 1905. Is that right?
1903, January 1903. He almost took off, but he didn't make it. He wasn't in the plane when it took off. The West Side Improvement put the first statue up, which was really a drinking fountain mainly for horses, dogs, and humans. They even got a letter, an appreciation from the SPCA for being so kind as to put the statue there, the fountain there, for horses and dogs. The original statue was right on the curb there, so that it was accessible for horses. And it stayed, as we said, till the Second World War. In 1943, about 2 o'clock one morning, a truck driver backed into the base of the statue and the statue toppled down. Next morning, Mary Casey, coming to work, saw the statue in pieces and called the Public Works Department, and they came and picked it up. So it's very appropriate that we now have a statue, and we're working very hard for a park to go along with it.
How much did the original statue cost, Donna? Something like 17?
It was something like between 1,000 and 1,500. I'm not sure. It was very cheap. It was ordered from the mail order catalog of J.O. Mott Iron Works in San Francisco, and there was no mention at all in the minutes of the West Side Improvement Club's minutes that there was a statue on top. So it came as a surprise to a lot of people when they saw this beautiful statue beside the fountain.
Couple more verses, everyone. John Nickel believed C.L. Coffer, who said there was oil on this hill. He drilled the well, but he found water, which later our plunge did help fill. And the tunnel went through the hills, rose around the well, taking autos to Cozy Cove Park that was swell. The East Brothers Light Station burned blue. The Chinese ship camp was nearby. A whale station soon was established, and Winehaven till we went dry. Prohibition, the Navy stores fuel, now the wine is gone. Automation, but the lighthouse lives on.
I think these people are on their way to the Cozy Cove amusement park, where they used to have live music and dancing in the pavilion down near the bay.
Yes, here we have Michael and Catherine again, and John and Charlie, who many of you already know.
My mom was over there. Is that free to cut it out here? Yeah. Right. But there's no more left, and everything's I can't.
Boogie down.
Could we have all of the models come up, and we'll have our grand finale. You know, we can't even hear you singing up here. There's only one more verse left. Why doesn't everybody sing at the top of their lungs?
Everybody look on and see if we can be heard over in San Rafael. You're gonna sing, right? Is it time? Okay, the last verse. Everybody join in on this. Just hum it if you don't know the words. The last verse, number 9. We've had ups and downs in Point Richmond. We've boomed and we've settled back down. Then bulging near bursting in wartime. But post-war a small sleepy town. But that village, because of its beauty, began to grow. Old Point Richmond, the best place to live that we know. Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
The fashions that you've just seen were provided by Bonnie Cool, and our motley crew who wore them did a fine job. Let's have another big hand for our models here. And we'll have a big hand for you too. You did a wonderful job at singing.
Now, moving right on schedule, we should have Steve Berman, who's a landscape contractor and who did the plans for the park, and they're going to be unveiled. Like the sculpture last year, Kirk St. Maur, he was able to say hello. Steve Berman, I think, is being even more public shy than he needs to be. In a few minutes, we will be unveiling the big blue wrapped billboard, which has the drawing. We would like to know if Griff Brazil could check to see if Bob Reed is at his store. And, well,
while we're getting ready to unveil the unveil the plans for the park, I want to note that there are donors forms for anybody who wants their name on a plaque. They're over by the community center. Mary Casey would like to say a few words, but first I hope you'll all appreciate all the work that's gone into today, and it's mostly been done by David Vincent.
Quite true. There's been a lot of help, and in the program there's a lot of special thanks that I would like to read them. There's a few. With the Restaurant and Bar Fun Run, it's the only marathon that most of us can walk, crawl if the day gets too long. We had great support from Griff Brazil of the Hotel Mac, Rhoda Plymack of the Masters Playhouse, Richard Alexander, an attorney in the Point, Herb Wimmer of Chevron Research, David Del Simone, another attorney in the Point. We also have Jim Ingram from the Richmond Police Department giving us our support with the fun run. The t-shirts are for sale. You get the entry card, hit all of the bars and restaurants listed, get your card punched. There's no obligation to eat or drink in them. It's like a bus tour through them. And then will be a drawing late this afternoon at the Point for bottles of wine that have been donated by the bars and restaurants that have been participating. The next thanks go for the antique car collection, Jay Ward of the Point Bar and Restaurant, and Loyal Foster. Loyal Foster is one of the characters that's been in Point Richmond for at least 20 years. Yesterday he picked up a broom and walked around the whole Point sweeping the gutters in the streets. Next time you see Loyal, give him a special thanks. With the t-shirts, we have the drawings by the famous underground comic book drawer, cartoonist Joel Beck. Joel Beck has a table at the Arts and Crafts today. He's done a new children's book written by Nicole Bradshaw. It's called The Silly Cat. It has some nice drawings, and today is its unveiling of Nicole's first written effort. Nicole wrote the book at 9, and this year she's 10. A hand for Nicole. The Carnival, PTA Kids Carnival. There's Georgia Haley, Deborah Alley, Sue Strayer, many of the PTAers. A lot of help went into the PTA's Carnival. There's also been a best solution for the children to be for a while. The park design is Steve Berman, and I'm still waiting for Steve Berman to show up. The Peathers Fair, the arts craft, settling it out. The organization with that is Bill Goldsmith of the Masters Playhouse and Don Roselius of the Point Richmond History Association. Publicity, Chris Dover of the Masters Playhouse. The program, raffle tickets, printing, and the typesetting, both with the Point Richmond Print Shop, and Claudia Beal is proprietor there, and DR3, which is a typesetting business of Donna Roselius. I think we're going to move along without Steve Dornan. One thing about this, about the park, last year when the Indian statue was finished, there was $1,500 left, which is now designated for restoring the park. We have done, had a park committee. They chose designs by Steve Berman. He's from the Point. We're going to have donated help, and we have to pay for the concrete and such items as that. The design we hope to have completed for next fall, when we would like on September 27th to have the third statue day. I'm supposed to have someone, Karsten is, where's Karsten? I need someone to help me unveil it, and Karsten has it down. There he is. Here comes Karsten. He has a technique for unveiling the sheet around the plaque. And for Mary Casey wants to say a few words. So before we have the unveiling, you might want to move down around the Indian statue. You'll be able to see the unveiling better. Mary Casey.
Here I am again. My brother, who's 82 years old and came to Richmond when he was Point Richmond when he was 1 year old, is an invalid. He has no legs, and he can't see, and he had a stroke. And his heart and soul is in Point Richmond. So have a good time.
Thank you, Mary. Last year we had helium balloons. We don't have that cleverness today. But we do have a billboard and no Steve Berman. Well, at least we'll know. At least we'll know. Karsten, are you ready to unveil it? And if you have your cameras ready, you can take a photograph. Yeah. All right. Up the top and over the bottom.
Bravo!
Hey. The remaining money for the park will require raising, we've collected about $6,000 now since we decided to do the park. Looks like our budget will be around $17,000 to $18,000. There will be a donor's plaque similar to the one that's on the pedestal that shows the donors to the Indian statue. That plaque will be on the third side of the plaque facing the park. Those forms, as mentioned, are at the table by the community center. And if you have
Mary Casey wants me to make an announcement about the West Side Improvement Club. As I said, they were the ones that put the statue up in 1909, and she feels that since it's still going strong, it's one of the oldest groups that exists in this city, and they're looking for good, improving new members. So they meet at the Lady of Mercy Church the first Tuesday of every month. If you're interested, please see Mary.
I think we'll let you in on a little secret why we're looking for Bob Reed. Bob Reed owns the Central Pool Hall. That is the building right across from the Hotel Mac. For the last 5 years at least, it has been partitioned off and you haven't been able to see that building. That building is a work of art. There's at least 11 coats of paint hand sanded in between. It's as if a son did a dollhouse for his daughter. It is a work of art. Why we're looking for him, the History Association does want to present him with a thank you and a plaque of appreciation for his restoration. We understand why he's not here is that they took the partitions off last night after 5:30 in the evening and celebrated. So let's give a hug for Bobby Reed, the Central Pool Hall. That concludes our noon's celebration. I hope you like that green and yellow billboard, which I got to make last weekend. Don't touch the green paint troop. They begin at 1 o'clock. There'll be entertainment up through at least 3:15 to 3:30 when the raffle at the bandstand will be take place. We have 86 prizes. The grand prize is a VCR. The other grand prize is cocktail party food and service for 36. There's also dinner and theater prizes. There's savings bonds from the Mechanics Bank, night for two and a bed and breakfast in Inverness, even at the Point Marina Inn. But there's gift certificates. Chevron has donated cases of oil. Just a lot of prizes, and a good reason. And the raffle will support both the maskers and the park improvement. Don, wait.
Thank you, David. That's right. Don't forget to get your raffle tickets. There are some lovely prizes, some unusual prizes, and there's a lot of them. And that drawing will be somewhere around 3:15, 3:30, I'm told. Shortly, we'll be graced by the Adrian's Dance Studio Troupe. They're preparing themselves, I believe. I see a few of them over there at the Maskers Playhouse, and they'll be with us shortly. In the meantime, don't forget the Peddler's Fair. There's one group down there, way down the other end there, and they're complaining that people haven't gotten quite that far yet. And they've got some great things on their table, don't worry. We're here, and don't forget to check out the historical layout over here at the community center. Is that dance about ready or what? Oh, they got about 5 minutes. Huh? Okay, stick around, everybody. Shortly we'll have Adrian's Dance Studio Troupe here. They were great last year, and I am sure they're going to be even better this year. They're ready and waiting over there. They'll be with us in just about 5 minutes. Stick around, everyone. I hope you're all having a good time here today, the second annual Indian Statue Day here in Point Richmond. And it's turned out to be a lovely day. We ought to give the sun an applause, but I don't think it'll do much good. Thank you anyway. This day is going to benefit the parklands, and you've seen them unveiled now. I think it's going to be very pretty, very nice. In addition to our triangle here, the square here in Point Richmond. The Maskers Playhouse is going to benefit also. And aside from that, the public at Point Richmond is going to benefit a great deal from the Maskers Playhouse. Especially, I think you'll see November 1st is the opening of Joseph. Joseph is coming. And if you've ever heard the story of Joseph and his many-colored coat, you're going to see a very unusual and joyous, happy spectacular production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which opens November 1st at the Maskers. I happen to know that it's going to be a terrific show. They've got a wonderful cast of young people to portray the different characters. The Pharaoh, Joseph with his many-colored coat, his 11 brothers, and all the other characters. Be sure to put that on your calendar. November 1st it opens. It'll be running for 8 weeks. It's a joyous, happy musical, and I hope you all get a chance to see it. Shortly we'll have some more entertainment for you today. Adrian's Dance Studio Troupe has been called anyway, and I think some of them are lining up and getting ready to come over. Today, over this way, we have the Peddler's Fair. There's any number of tables down here. There's tables all the way down there. Don't miss that last table. They've got some great items, and they'll bargain with you. They've got some good stuff, some jewelry, some old items, some new items. Both sides of the street down here, they've got some wonderful, unusual, and different things you might want to take home and put in your garage. Who knows, you can sell them later. See if I get that right. Brickyard Landing got its name. And on down farther on the corner, don't miss the beautiful crafts, the homemade things. Easy tickets offered by different people to see listed on the back of the tickets. Other services, examination of your teeth, x-rays, teeth cleaning. Architects are offering their services. Dave Betts, architect, toward kitchen remodeling. Our architectural drawings. And the tax service, you can get your tax done. One of the prizes by Omni Tax Service is a personal tax return. You get a wheel alignment. Just listen to all these wonderful prizes. Don't forget, get these raffle tickets. Get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Just gather some of these up there. $1. And get your official Indian Statue Day raffle ticket from one of the Masters members or over here in front of Jimbo. Thank you, Tom. Well, the person from the dance group had a stage switch more to the bandstand. I hope you'll all stick around. We've got plenty of entertainment. We're going to have entertainment right up until the raffle drawing, which will be around 3:30. Shortly, we're going to have some wonderful dance entertainment by some young folks. You'll see some costumes over here, and they'll soon be over here going wild and entertaining us here. Adrian's Dance Studio Troupe. After that, we're at Don Dodo's. He's not there. Wonderful, lively music. Yes! There's someone over there. And following that, W.B. Gospel singers from Sacramento. Some of the folks were here last year. They ended our show. Oh, man. Really great. They had this place just jumping. The whole point was just proud of the people and they were having a great time. In the raffle, they had it. Okay, that's the way to go.
You gotta go get the key. Let's go get it.
We should never manage to don't get old. Bring us the yo ho. Yo ho.
Hey.